So should I start?
Yep.
Sure. I'm
Okay.
Always.
Well, we're back for part 2. I don't know what else I have to teach you, but we'll see what we can learn and share here. I'm going to kind of show you where my progress has gone.
Oh my, your poppies are beautiful.
Oh, they're
So-
lovely.
Oh,
Okay,
love
why
them.
can't I get there? This is what I drew for you last month, remember?
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, then, okay, where do you start? This
Yes.
time I decided to paint. I started with painting the poppies because I love color too. And so I put the orange and the green in, and then I decided, well, I'll start in an enclosed area. I usually start in one of these enclosed areas or a corner, but I started in this area. Then I was going to document more, but I got into doing it. So then I spread the black a little more. And then I started putting in some lines. This is
Wow.
where I got stuck for a while.
Mhm.
I put these vertical lines in and I decided it need horizontal, but I didn't like, these seemed kind of wimpy and I didn't want to, run a line across and make it square too much.
Mhm.
So I filled it in
Hmm.
and you'll notice what I added.
Yeah.
Oh.
Lines in the flowers. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I have 2 buds here.
Hmm.
I added some leaves and an open bud
Yeah.
because I did that because I cheated because I didn't know what to put up there.
That's not a cheat.
So I thought about putting lines in, but now I think I'm just going to leave it because if I get too much black up here, it'll kind of take away from this nice white spot.
Mhm.
So I think I'm at this point. What is everybody else? I think I'm going to quit.
I think quit. I love the way you did the triple outline at the top.
Yeah, I put
Yeah.
one more line around too.
Mhm.
I thought about, I could even fill in here with black,
Mm-mm.
maybe again, I just did this last weekend, drawing
I-
that bud.
For a while, Rosemary.
Yeah, I got to look at it. These sit for a few days.
And then
I like the lines that you added to the flowers too. That really helps add dimension and draw your eye there too.
Yeah.
Mhm. And I put a few more lines in the leaves too, as you can see here. So I added more.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So
That really makes a difference.
I think this might be enough for now.
I think so. Yep.
That's really lovely.
Thank you. So I was gonna do,
Oh.
I'll do, everybody's oohing and ahhing about the dogs. I
I'm doing it on your drawing.
okay, I'm
the
gonna
dog.
show you the bird first.
Okay.
Can't do that yet. So remember this wimpy bird was sitting there. So
Mhm.
I put the black in and now I think what I'm going to do is put some color in it.
Do you want to stop share? So that-
No, we might as well just do all this. So this is where this one is right now. This is the
Oh.
rooster. Remember the rooster? He again
Yep.
is just a lone bird. And so since he's a chicken from Maui, I changed, I didn't like what was going on over here. So why is that up there now? I don't want you. Okay. I
Oh,
made the fold
interesting.
more Hawaiian.
Yeah.
Again,
Wow.
I think he's done. Okay, that's not related to this at all. Okay. All right. When was this? Last fall, perhaps? April 5th, 2019. I was visiting my son and his family in New Jersey. And it was a rainy day. And this woman walked by with 12 dogs.
Oh,
And
Oh, my.
I quick snapped a picture. And then I had just, whoops, sorry, hair trigger. So I did this little square because I'd just been at a wonderful art supply store in Brooklyn. And I had all these square little 6x6 watercolor blocks. So I thought, oh, I got to draw that. So I did this little version of it. And then I was thinking, oh, what to draw for this week. So I'm doing a new version of this. But while I was in that same trip, whoops, wrong place here. That same trip to New York, I was in Brooklyn and I went with my granddaughter to the playground. And I didn't take any pictures because you don't want to take pictures of other people's kids on the playground and
oh, sure.
park and
Yeah.
So I got home and I thought, well, that was a fun trip to the park. I wish I had, pictures of it. So I drew this kind of randomly from memory.
Wow.
And then I did, this is an example, I don't often do this. I have a hard time going from a sketchbook to a painting.
Oh,
It's always a challenge. And maybe some of you have that same problem. But I did turn this into a painting. And it's about
cute.
14 by 14. So it's not quite the same, but it's kind of on the same principle of the abstract body shapes. And I made the slide a little more interesting and, did a few other things. And it was in a show and I did get criticized by using black.
Oh,
Really interesting.
But I like it.
I do too.
So I'm going to give it to when I'm done with it, I'm going to give it to my kids in Brooklyn. Okay. So this week, let's see, where is it? I did a new drawing.
Hooray.
Dog walker. Now I did this on Sunday afternoon or Monday afternoon. I guess it was Sunday. I would have drawn the whole thing in front of you, but would have made me too nervous. So I stopped myself. I just did a line drawing. I didn't use any pencil, except I marked the spacing of the dogs. So I would get enough on. I think I added a few more dog shapes. And again, I didn't worry. If you look at it, I didn't worry about, getting them perfect. As long as they had ears, tails, and legs. And I noticed my figure is a little out of proportion. I got to fix that. But I put in, a little dog here, a big dog, part of a dog back here, this dog, another part of a dog, and then the dog bringing up the tail end. So I did expand on it. And then again, the first thing, I don't know, this one, I might just leave black and white because I really like it in black and white because it was a dreary day in April. There's not much going on, green wise. So I did go in with black and put in the street and the doorway and the window. The hardest thing was the window and door. And I put a few lines in the door and I thought I better stop or I'll have everything done before I show it on Tuesday. So that was what I'm got now. So now you can stop. Are there any questions on any of these before I quit?
So are you going to abstract this a little bit?
Not, yeah,
Or are you going to keep it linear?
well, it isn't square. So yeah, to a certain extent. I mean, this is for me, you know, it's not really abstract.
No, it isn't. It's well done. I like it. It's an interesting picture.
Yeah, so I'm in this case, I'm not going to really go abstract. It's just not
Conducive.
realistic in the sense of color and what kind of dog is that, you know?
Oh, okay, okay.
But it's impressionistic, shall we say.
There you go. Oh, it's really nice.
It really is.
I like
I,
it.
I was pretty happy for the with the drawing, you know, because I was just in the mood to draw it too, so that helped.
Mhm.
Any other questions about the
I really like that one.
flowers, or, you know, the one you saw, the one I did on the paper, you know, the,
You put your color down first and then you went around. You drew around.
Right.
yeah, this was an old dog, Susan.
Well, I lots of
I told them Carlin's old dog story. So this was an old dog that I had and I drew on top of it.
now it's a young pup.
Yep, you're right. So I did that one for them, and then this was the demo from last time,
Mhm.
and now we have a new thing. So,
Okay,
and
Hey.
we'll stop screen sharing, and we'll go over here.
and you would have to stop the share at your end.
Or
There we go. Okay. And
at what I was doing. Okay, now we're back to the. Can everybody see this? It's a little distorted. I think it'll work. Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah, it's good.
yep,
Yep.
yep. Is it laid flat on your table or is it up, propped up?
Is at a slight slant.
Okay,
So let me see if I can.
if you if you raise it up just a little bit, then it'll, yeah, at the bottom.
Yeah, how's that?
Yep. Better.
Okay. So what I had thought of on this is maybe just adding some color. Maybe
Oh.
making it. So I'll slop on some paint and see what happens. I kind of like that.
Uh-huh. It takes away from the bird in a cage.
Yeah, I didn't we switch to that number 10 brush.
Okay.
That's much more clear now. Very clear.
Color are you using?
Oh, I am using a color that nobody likes, cerulean blue.
I like
I like it. It does. I like it because if you're doing something simple like this, it does take out some particles, which gives some interest to the
Yes.
thing. I mean, you could, you know, Okay, I like that.
I
Yep.
do too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's as far as I'd want to take this at this time, and I'd let it dry and see if it's, you get to a certain point and you say, is this worth moving on to something else? Okay, so that's done. Don't you like how quick things happen here? We're losing Osmo.
Oh, no.
Do you get all these ads now from Osmo?
No.
I get none. What's Osmo?
Oh.
I
Osmo.
a lot of ads, Rosemary, every day.
I have never gotten one.
Yeah.
Osmo is a kids learning tool.
Okay.
Sarah is the expert on Osmo. So
Oh, yeah, she is.
Sarah, yes, you are.
Okay. Okay. I'll take your word for it.
anyway, it's a mirror and you attach it to the top of your iPad and it reflects the picture onto the screen. And then there's an app that you have to have an app, and then you also can zoom it. So it's a two-step process. You have the app for the Osmo, and then you have to switch to connect to Zoom. So you can see what's on my desktop. What you're actually seeing is the mirrored image of you could also do this with a cell phone attached to a tripod.
Yep.
hanging
Okay.
up above.
Rose, the last time I was on, well, I haven't been on Osmo very much, but when I put it on my phone, it said it no longer accepts the iPhone. I mean, just so that if that happens, that's what and that was,
I have it on my iPad.
okay, I have it on my iPad too.
No, I would use the cell phone just as the camera.
Oh, okay. See, there's
Yeah.
a lot I don't
Yeah.
know yet.
Yeah, I would just turn on my iPhone. I have done videos on my iPhone doing artwork too that I put on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
That you can do if you have. I bought a tripod. I have a tripod, and I bought somewhere in my studio. It's a holder that you would use. So you wouldn't have to do the Osmo. You could just rig up your phone. But then that's harder to do Zoom, I think. But you could.
You could. Yeah.
Okay. So here I have my drawing. So you see where I kind of put in some black. And maybe I'll start working on, I think probably I might work on the person. If I find the right tool. The head looks a little large, doesn't it?
There's a
Okay,
hood on.
it is a hood.
It's raining. It's raining.
Yeah, it was, and it is a hood. So,
It's a big,
so maybe I can bring the shoulders up a little higher. And there.
There you go.
And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. What did Carlin once tell us, Sue, about when we were out doing doing sketching on plein air with a pen? If you make a mistake, you just keep on going on the correct one because the viewer will then follow that line. Something like that, right, Sue?
right. You make another line next to it that you take on the rest of the picture. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. So I've always gone with, it's not a big deal philosophy.
Well, you have to do that because if you want to be perfect, you're never going to get anything done. So
Exactly, right.
Well, and
We're-
it has its own charm when you have these lines that are not quite perfect. You know, it makes it a charming drawing in many ways because it's more relaxed.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
you're
Some of my
photoreal.
lines are so crooked, they're not really charming.
You know, my lines are not straight. I certainly am not doing this that well.
That made a difference.
Yeah, so, there's my figure walking down the street. And then maybe, and of course, then the dog in front of her would be light colored.
Mhm.
But maybe this little dog that's kind of a mess could be a little, black pug or something. So you draw in a little black pug. There. And then, of course, you do things like, well, then the dog behind this dog should be a light kind of dog, but maybe not totally. So,
I
We-
like it with just the one black figure. It's almost like you're saying something that
Yeah.
the background is undone and that one person is done. And I think you could send this to New Yorker magazine. It just has sort of a meaning behind it. In the tilts, you have a natural flair.
oh,
So I think maybe you should send this to New Yorker magazine.
well, it is in New Jersey.
Well, then there you go. It has a literary quality to it. Like there's a story behind it. But I wouldn't even do anything more to it. I'd just leave it but that's your picture. So of course you don't have to listen to me, but I mean, it's kind of neat how she's highlighted and the rest of it isn't.
Yeah. Well, there's a whole bunch of dogs. The whole thing is about how many dogs are there that she's walking.
You
One,
can kind
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
well, you
And
can around them, Rosemary. You can put your background around them.
Yeah.
And they'll show up and you can contrast them that way.
Sure.
So they're not going to have, faces and, this one, I'm going to give him a black ear.
Oh,
And then, this is like coloring in your coloring book.
Put some noses.
He's got a nose. There he goes.
and a spot. Oh, cute.
And, I'm just playing around with, where he's going to have, I'll come back later and maybe figure out what color his legs are. So, and this one, I think I will do something to this utility pole, which I put in just as part of the story. So at this point, I might just do some vertical lines. And if I want to later, and it fits, I could just do it all in black.
We better hope a cat doesn't come by because none of these dogs are on a leash now.
They will be. They were all leashed. They were all
Okay.
leashed.
Oh, but even that, can you imagine if some animal came by that they all took running?
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't be brave enough. My granddaughter, who was a they lived in Brooklyn before they moved to New Jersey. And, you know, she's seen dog walkers all her life, and she's now in 4th grade. But when she was in 1st grade, she wanted to be a professional dog walker. And she probably would have been pretty good at it. Oh, did you see that line go crooked? Woo! I think I had too much coffee. So you can see how I'm gradually easing. I think the word is to ease into these. And that's why I do this. It helps me think about composition and balance. And I also am forced to take my time. I sometimes get, I have found since I've been drawing these and painting these, I have maybe not wasted time on a painting that didn't go anywhere. I don't know if that's the true way to think of it, wasting time, but I'm more deliberate in my painting now without doing an elaborate drawing is the other thing. I mean, I hate to, I used to do drawings and you'd get them, the paper would just be gray from the pencil on your arm. And I don't like that, so I don't do that anymore.
You know, Rosemary, I think what's charming about it is I think when you talk, you so obviously enjoy doing this and it excites you that is the thing. I mean, it's especially during these times. I mean, you've got something that really pleased, you know, you're pleased to do and pleased with the results. And they're nice, very nice.
And I'm just checking the time. Yeah, I've worked, I think I talked before about sketchbooks. I'm doing one now. I've got a 3-volume COVID sketchbook. I call it a visual journey because I write in it and do poetry and copy things into it, but I also have drawings. So I think I've been really doing a lot of sketchbooks, and I've got, you know, one of acrylics, one with collage.
Oh, really?
So I love little books, and some of them are bigger, but I don't know. I have this love of little notebooks or something.
Rosemary, do you ever, this is Edna, do you ever collage onto these sketchy things?
Oh, on these ink?
Yeah.
No.
Have you ever tried it?
Well, you could. I've just never, I kind of stay away from collage now. I used to do it in watercolor, but I collage more now in acrylic.
Okay.
You could, I see this more as the value of it is the drawing.
Okay.
And I don't want to mess with the quality or that feeling, you know.
Okay.
Simplicity and collage then makes it a little bit more complicated.
Yeah, and I figure these can get pretty I mean, this chicken is pretty complicated when you think of it. And I wouldn't want to, you know, it's got a lot of lines. This chicken almost has too many lines for my taste, but it is what it is. So I think anything else, I think otherwise that's about all I have to say this time around, if there's any questions.
So you're taking drawings like Karen Knutson does.
Yeah.
And what kind of drawings are those? They're line or they're
Wire drawings or contour drawing?
you're taking them to a different place.
Yeah, I started out with contour. I'm not sure I know the question, Sue.
Simplifying.
Yeah,
You're
I'm,
more
yeah, I
simplifying.
simplify. Yeah, yeah.
Which
I go in for every, like I said, don't draw every, I don't do every eye and nose on these dogs. It may just be a black blob or, you can always put a, what I could always do is put a cat up here on the steps.
but
I might
Rosemary,
do that.
you're more direct. More direct.
Yes, I'm direct. And I think everybody that does these drawings does them a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Because you've done some, haven't you, Sue?
Yeah, I have.
And the way Karen does it is different than the way our friend Jennifer Stone does it, is different from how Mary Beth Downs does it.
Right.
I think we've all found our own niche,
Mhm.
Yeah, and I have a totally different way of drawing. So, but
Yeah.
intriguing. But I think being direct, is for me easier.
Yeah.
Not
And I did, I find I'm using this technique more and more when I'm out plein air. Like when I was down at Bayfront drawing flowers, I would just get out my notebook and either splash some color on and then do the flowers, or do the pen first, add the black lines, then paint. So it opens you up to doing all kinds of little variations on whatever you're seeing or doing. I mean, if, Michelle sits outside with her pastels in the cold doing beautiful work.
Wow.
But, if you wanted to just do a quick little pen sketch or do something from memory like I did of that playground, I was able to do that. I went home from the playground, picked up the paper and just recorded it. And so it clear, makes you simplify and learn that mind process of simplifying it. That kind of what, yeah, Sue, you do a great job of simplifying boats.
And yeah, that makes sense because that's something I'm not good at.
Well, we're doing story with pictures.
Yeah,
And a picture is worth 1,000 words. So you can get a lot said in a
Yes.
very picture.
Mhm.
But being direct, I think is a good way to get to the viewer. I think the viewer can then see what you're doing and understand the story better.
right.
But you're still weaving. When you're doing that, you're weaving shapes in and out, which is
Yeah.
really kind
I mean,
of, so you're
you think about, if it's dark here, I want my light here, or you still move
Right.
your black shapes throughout your picture to move the viewer's eye, move the white shapes around. You don't have to deal with color if you're just doing it in black and white. So if it's a good way if if you're learning about color and then you want to learn about contrast or composition, maybe that's too much for your mind at one time. So you could just stick to black and white and then work out your composition, then go into grays or lines, and that will give you your values, your shape value. And so you could, do some black and white work until you feel, well, I'm ready to move on to color. So that's another way to look at it.
Mhm.
I found it really interesting, and I like the way you move back and forth behind the object or on the object, and it creates shape.
Yeah, I think I'll have fun with this.
And you don't have to be in your studio. You can actually sit in a chair and do this if you want.
Yeah.
Even better.
That's true. And you can add as you update it, Rosemary, will you add it to the Facebook page so we can?
I will do that. I will do that. So we can move on now to, you can probably stop record and move on to
Okay,
everybody's work. I'd like to see if anybody did anything that I can look
okay.
at.
I'll stop record. And I'll take off your spotlights.
Yeah, I'll
Oh,
leave.
Mary, have you ever tried Zentangle?
No, because that makes me nervous.
Really?
Oh, how funny.
It's repeating. I kind of try any kind of pattern making. It's all patterns. And I just can't, I don't
like-
enjoy it.
You like more wide open spaces. Yeah,
I like the, okay,
it's too busy.
that's it. It's too busy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen people that do beautiful things with Zentangle, and it's more, to me, it's more decorative. And I
Yeah.
still want to, I find this is a good way to do, figures, and you can, and I showed everybody the portrait of my son I did, right? You
Yeah.
can do faces and people and flowers and birds and
It really helps get your shapes better. I think this really helps you makes you a better shape maker, which is painting, basically. Well, it's a nice tool. It's a really nice tool.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean every painting you do has to be, I mean, I just did I'll go back to, oops, you don't want that. Oh, okay. Where is it? There. That's an acrylic I did over the last few weeks on a 12, I guess it's about 12 by 14. And this is the third or fourth painting on this panel. But I think I got it this time. So, but again, it helps to, because I find when I move into acrylic, I have enough trouble, mixing colors in acrylic is not automatic for me like it is with watercolor. And so I find if I keep it simple, I probably do better.